the stoppage. But if we're being honest here, and I just went back, I was just at the boxing gym training myself, and they had the Inoue fight with Doheny up there, and I was watching it, man, and I saw some things that were big red flags in the Doheny performance. Big red flags. Now, Doheny didn't have the youth, the speed to capitalize on the mistakes that Inoue was making, but there were some things that he was doing. Like, for example, I saw a couple of there were more than one occasion I saw Doheny feint the uppercut to the body and then throw the right hook behind it and land. I saw Inoue losing his balance at times. I saw Inoue overextending on jabs, and you could attribute some of this. I will attribute some of this to maybe the fact that he was fighting a southpaw, but I saw a guy that and this ties into another point I have. I saw a guy that's very heavy. I think he's on the verge of outgrowing the weight. And you may say, BT, how could Inoue be outgrowing the weight? He just got there recently when he fought Stephen Fulton last year. You just wanted to rush to featherweight, and that's not true. If you guys do any research, which I did my research, Inoue has increased his fight night weight every single fight he's been at 122. So when he's rehydrated from Fulton all the way to Doheny, he's increased in weight. So, for example, when he fought Stephen Fulton, his fight night weight was 132 pounds. When he fought Marlon Tapales, his fight night weight was 135 pounds. He had a conversation with Jorge Linares in Japanese, and when it was transcribed to English, he admitted himself for the Lewis Neri fight, he was 136 pounds. And for the TJ Doheny fight, it was reported that on fight night, he rehydrated to a career high 138 pounds. So you may say, BT, True School, what does this all mean? What do these numbers mean? What it means is his body is telling him that he is a featherweight, and that he really and truthfully should move the hell up to featherweight. Now, the way I think it's going to go, I think Inoue is going to do the Sam Goodman fight, and I think somewhere around the build-up, like when the fight gets signed and he's training and we're heading into the fight, I think you're going to start to hear things about Inoue maybe having a hard time making the weight, and I do think a move to featherweight will be imminent. I don't think he's got 3 fights left at 122. The numbers suggest he doesn't have 3 fights left at 122. That's not me wanting to rush into featherweight. He's growing in fight night weight every single fight. I mean, for Christ's sakes, right? He's like let's just say, right, because you guys know the fight I want to see more than any fight in boxing is him versus Angelo Leo, right? Hypothetically, if he fought Angelo Leo for the IBF belt, we know that the IBF has a 10-pound rehydration rule where you can't rehydrate more than 10 pounds above the weight limit then the next day. That's an IBF rule when you fight for the title. Okay. Inoue is not even at 126, but if he was at 126, he couldn't go above 136 if he was featherweight, right? He's not even at 126, and he's rehydrating above what you could rehydrate at featherweight. So that right there, at the very least, is very telling that his body is telling him to go up to featherweight, that he can't be at 122 much longer. So that's what I think. That's just my opinion. That's my original thought, and it's based in and it's rooted in just logic and reality and facts. But there's that. I just think too, like, one of the things I'm seeing with Inoue, and I've seen it for years with him, and I don't want to keep talking about his weaknesses too much because I do want my friend to beat him, but I will say that, like, he looked very I saw him biting on too many feints against Doheny, and that's something I don't know how you work on that. Like, maybe you guys who know more about boxing, you can tell me. But Doheny had a lot of success throwing feints. Where Doheny went wrong in this fight is simply that he just wasn't. First of all, youth is not on his side. He's 37 years old, and he just didn't have the speed to land off some of the good things he was doing. Because there were a couple of times where he would feint the uppercut, or sometimes Inoue starts playing with his hand positioning. Like, I think it was the 5th round. Doheny had Inoue on his back foot, going towards the ropes, and Inoue's playing with his hands. Like, he's doing a high guard, then he's going into like kind of like a cross guard, kind of like a where he lowers his hands a bit, and he's doing all this stuff with his hands. And then Doheny feinted him, and he bit on it, and then he threw I think it was a left hand to the body and the right hand to the body. The left hand got blocked fully, and then the right hand was partially blocked. It grazed Inoue's ribs. Now, he didn't pay for it there. He didn't pay for it in that instance because Doheny didn't have the speed or the reflexes to close the gap fast enough. But you get a younger fighter in there who does have more speed, and that could stuff like that, just little things like that. When he's fighting bigger guys, younger guys at featherweight, could spell trouble. And I know people are gonna say that they may say I'm being hypercritical. I'm not being hypercritical. I already watched the fight like less than an hour ago, and these are just some of the things I saw. Now, all in all, it's a great day at the office. He broke this guy's back with a straight right hand to the body. But what's gonna happen if he fights someone that puts him on his back foot? What's gonna happen when he's got some questions to answer himself against a bigger guy with more skill who's younger? I mean, I just think that when you talk about the level of performances that we're accustomed to seeing in a way, even though this did end in a stoppage and boxing is a results-based business, so he gets a pass because of the result. I actually think in recent years it's one of his lesser performances. It's one of his worst performances because of not just the fact that Doheny was feinting him and being able to land certain shots, but also I saw Inoue constantly falling off balance, overextending on jabs. And these were very un-Inoue-like characteristics. These weren't things that I'm accustomed to seeing from him. And the reason why I feel like some of these things were happening is because of fatigue. And I feel fatigue was setting in for him because he's fighting at a career high fight night weight of 138 pounds. So then that begs the question: if he moves to featherweight, is he gonna become a guy that rehydrates into the 140s? Because if he's not fighting for the IBF, if he fights like, let's say, Ray Vargas, Nick Ball, or Espinosa, he can rehydrate higher than 136 or 138. So I'm just saying, I remember when Inoue took that picture, and I want to show you guys. I want to show you guys the picture because, where is it? Do I got it here? Yeah. So this picture right here, look, I'm going to show you guys a picture right here. And by the way, smash that like button. Shout out to everyone here. Rock with me, rocking with True School Sports. Go to screen share. So look, when I saw this picture the other day, this one right here on the screen, my first thought was, first of all, he looks like he's in amazing shape because he's cut up like a bag of dope. Inoue's in supreme shape. But you can see it. His shoulders, his biceps, everything looks more defined, filled out. I mean, his back muscles got muscles. I mean, he really is not. This is a different frame than the guy that fought Fulton in the first fight at 122. He's a guy that I genuinely feel is already a featherweight, and them, if Sam Goodman fights more than acceptable because they're supposed to fight Sam Goodman anyway, and this fight's already been talked about, so they'll fight in December. But I'll tell you this: anything past Sam Goodman, I think, is pushing it, and I think you're going to be putting Inoue in a very dangerous and disadvantageous position if he continues to fight at 122. The fight night weights suggest that he has outgrown the weight. His body suggests that he is filled out, and I think a move to featherweight has to be, if they have any sense, a move to featherweight has to be imminent. So those are just a couple of things I saw. I'm not here to down them. Not every performance is going to be an A+ 5-star performance, but if you're someone like Bruce Carrington, if you're someone like Angelo Lee, if you're someone in the featherweight division that's watching them and studying him for a fight coming up, there are more than a couple of things that, if you know what you're looking at, you can see, you could exploit, So I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of adjustments he makes, and that's really why I want to see him at featherweight, is because it's kind of like the Manny Pacquiao thing. People wanted to see Manny Pacquiao fight at these higher weight classes because they wanted to see just how far could he go, how could he adapt his style. Same with Floyd. How could Floyd and Manny and these great fighters yesterday, Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, how could these guys adapt their style against bigger guys, skilled guys, younger guys, and how could they find a way to win? And that's why I'm at with Inoue. Inoue, for most of his career, like, if you want to just be honest about how he wins fights by dominating you mid-range, overwhelming you with speed and athleticism. But I just think now at 126, some of those things are going to get negated because of size and just the attributes that some of these guys have. And he's going to have to make some adjustments to his style. And if he can make those adjustments, to me, that only adds to the greatness in a way. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't take away. And me pointing this out doesn't make me a hater. It's just me being a fan of boxing, knowing what I'm looking at, knowing what it will require to succeed at the highest levels. And I'm looking forward to that time when it comes. And I think it may be quicker. I think that time of him moving up to featherweight, it may be closer than a lot of you guys think. I don't think he will fight past Sam Goodman for two reasons. Because his body, he won't stay at 122 past Sam Goodman because his body won't allow him to, and the division is trash. I mean, let's take a look at the division. The 122, he's cleared out the whole division. It is not a good weight class. So you guys tell me, what are the attractive fights here? And I know I've done this before, but I got to keep doing this again. I got to keep regurgitating and driving this point home. Do you guys really want to see Inoue stay in the weight class to fight Merjan Akhmadaliev, who doesn't deserve the fight because he hasn't done anything since he lost Marlon Tapales? And when he had a chance to fight Stephen Fulton, to put himself in the position to fight Inoue, he didn't want to do it. So, that's his cross to bear. He shouldn't get the fight. You want to see Inoue fight David Picasso? I mean, Liam Davies? I mean, what is there left to do, He's filled out. The fight night weight suggests that he's filled out. Let's after you take care of Sam Goodman, because Sam Goodman's a good fighter, but he's not going to be Inoue. Go up to 126 and let's see. I want to see him up there because I know he's a great fighter and I respect him. He's one of my favorite fighters of all time. I've covered him faithfully on this channel for 8 years, and I want to see him against the guys at 126. And 126, the featherweight division, is my favorite weight class in boxing right now. I told you guys before this calendar even started. I told you. In 2023, I told you that 2024 would be the year of the featherweight division, and guess what? It's been all that, then some, since the year started. So, yeah, that's how I feel. But shout out to everybody here. Make sure you